White House correspondent John Harwood and political commentator Anna Navarro. Good evening to both of you. John, we are learning that the National Archives has asked the DOJ to investigate Donald Trump's handling of White House records, including the handling of classified information. The New York Times is reporting they found classified information. What else are you learning?
Well, we're learning, Don, that this is chapter 985 of Donald Trump doesn't follow the rules, doesn't think they apply to him. We've been talking the last couple of days about how he, in defiance of the Presidential Records Act, would routinely rip up official documents. His aides would have to tape them together. Now we learn that he took stuff out of the White House that he shouldn't have taken. That some of that stuff has been sent back, and some of it was classified material. What we don't know is whether he did this for some nefarious purpose, whether the classified material was particularly sensitive or damaging in some way to national security. We don't know that. And we don't know whether or not there will be any consequences from whatever DOJ does with this information. And I also think, though, Don, we can't help but reflect on the massive journalistic and political failure that occurred in 2016 with the attention to Hillary Clinton's emails. The journalistic failure, of course, was not one of honesty. It was one of proportion. We took a legitimate story and blew it up way beyond its importance, and that fueled the political use of it by Donald Trump, whose every word on this subject was disingenuous crap, as we saw throughout his presidency when members of his family were using private emails, and now we see the president himself taking classified materials out of the White House to his private home after his presidency.
There isn't a lack of hypocrisy to go around here. Anna, let's talk more about what he just mentioned. Trump was relentless during the 2016 campaign, day after day slamming Hillary Clinton for how she handled classified information. And now this. Talk about the irony here.
You know, but I also think that, you know, as John just alluded to, the barrage of things that Donald Trump has done wrong, the amount of times that it's rules and regulations and laws that apply to others but not to him, that this is almost one more drop in the glass, right? And at what point is that glass going to overflow for his supporters? We know the answer. Never. I think this is tacky. More tacky behavior from the Trumps. It's a miracle. Thank God they went in there and recovered these boxes so that it doesn't end up, public documents and classified documents don't end up being auctioned off on eBay by Melania Trump, along with her NFTs and her used hats. Right? I mean, it really defies logic. But I would like DOJ to look into who helped him with this, because we know that Donald Trump did not sit sorting through and reading 15 boxes worth of documents. If you told me maybe it was paint by numbers, I could believe it. But there's no way that he was the one sifting through all of this, putting them in boxes, and carrying them out of the White House into Mar-a-Lago. So there's going to be a bunch of people, as there always is with Trump issues, a bunch of minions who were helping him and who knew that this was a violation of federal law.
John, also tonight, one of Trump's most loyal allies, Peter Navarro, subpoenaed by the January 6th Select Committee. This is a man who was pushing the big lie, conspiring to overturn the election. I mean, out in the open, he was doing it. So what are the chances that he actually cooperates?
Zero. Peter Navarro, first of all, he's a kook. And second of all, like the others very close to Trump who were pushing this ridiculous nonsense about the election, they have no intention of helping this committee. They're going to do everything possible to drag out, delay, and if ultimately dragged in to testify, will take the fifth or figure out some way not to cooperate. There's no interest in the Trump team of helping this committee get to the truth, and Peter Navarro is not going to be any different.
And I have to get your take on this divide in the GOP over calling January 6th legitimate political discourse. Why did that set off McConnell and other Senate Republicans? Is there more to this moment than meets the eye, you think?
Because it's so egregious, right? I think the idea that these Congress people and senators who were at the Capitol when this occurred and ran for their lives and were protected by Capitol Police and law enforcement would stay silent and pretend that they're not going to opine and that they don't have a view on, calling it political, legitimate political discourse is egregious. And so I'm very glad that people like Mitt Romney, that people like Mitch McConnell have spoken up. But I also think it reflects the fact that Mitch McConnell does not have to kowtow to a bunch of crazies in his caucus. Kevin McCarthy does. Kevin McCarthy is afraid of the capacity of a kooks like Marjorie Taylor Greene and Lauren Boebert and Cawthorn and Gates to mobilize against him should the Republicans retake the House and challenge his speakership. And so what you continue seeing is ridiculous cowardice. I mean, it looked like he was competing in the Olympics yesterday, the way he was running so fast down the halls. We finally found something he's good at, running away from the truth and running away from questions.
Oh, Anna. All right.
Don, if I could just add one postscript to Anna, in terms of how slavish Kevin McCarthy is, any gazpacho that Marjorie Taylor Greene gives to Kevin McCarthy, he's going to drink.
Do you think people know the reference?
Yeah. I gotta go. I'll get the reference later. I'll tell you what.
Go look up what Sam Press is. Oops, even Chacha's upset now. Goodbye.
Thank you both.